Hey everyone, welcome to thelines.com. My name's Nicole, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about Formula One, specifically all of the different bet types you can make heading into the first race of the season, the Bahrain GP. But before we dive into all of that, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, give us a thumbs up, and ring the bell so you know every time we post a new video. As F1 gains popularity throughout the US, more and more sportsbooks are starting to expand their offering for the races this season. Now, while most still have just a few key markets like the race winner, the fastest lap, top 3, top 6, top 10, others like BetMGM, because we got to give credit where credit is due, has really expanded their offering. At BetMGM Sportsbook, there are over 60 bets that you can make on the first race of the season alone. We're going to get into some of them. Don't worry, not going to get into all 60, but we are going to get into some of them and talk about the odds. So let's go ahead and start. We have the race winner, one of the most popular bets that you can make in F1. Right now, we have Max Verstappen as the favorite at plus 175, followed by Lewis Hamilton at plus 300 and Charles Leclerc at plus 450. Now, we've gone over this before. The first race of the season is one of the most difficult to handicap. Race conditions are not identical to testing conditions, and so far, we have only seen the cars in testing. We know that maybe the drivers are not putting up 100% effort, that the engineers are still working out some mechanical issues, and we really just haven't seen how these cars compete during a race. So right now you can still get some of the favorites at plus money because again, we just don't know how these cars perform on the track during race day. We haven't seen them in practice or qualifying either. Another really popular market is the fastest lap. Now, remember in Formula One, you do get points for the fastest lap regardless of whether or not you win the race. So it is something that drivers are conscious of and working towards in that race. Even if they aren't in first place, they're still trying to put up really fast lap times. Now, Max Verstappen put up the fastest lap in Bahrain testing, and he is currently plus 160, the favorite to do so during the race. Now, another one that you can do is a top 3 bet. Now, when these lines opened, I liked Charles Leclerc at plus 120. The market has since adjusted, and he is now minus 105. Not sure I would take this past even money, but again, make sure that you are checking out the odds early because sportsbooks are adjusting these odds as we get closer to race day. Another wager that you can make, as you'll see here, is the top 6. So you'll see now as we have expanded out, Max Verstappen is a heavy favorite, minus 450 to place within the top 6. Another really cool wager that you can make is a top 10 driver. But what I will show you here is that this top 10 driver bet, and if we scroll down a little bit here, and will these drivers record points in a race? This is the same market. Now, we know if you placed in the top 10 in an F1 race, you score points. So these odds should be identical because they are identical markets. So you'll see here, Lewis Hamilton is minus 650 to record points in the race, and he is minus 650 to place in the top 10. Now, because this is a smaller betting market, if you do see discrepancies, it might be something to take a look at and see if you could take advantage of, but between those two markets, the odds should be identical. We're going to finish off here with some head-to-head matchups and another market of recording points. So let's go ahead and take a look at the head-to-head matchups. So head-to-heads can go 2 different ways, and they're really fun to wager on. Now, they can either be between the same team, 2 drivers within the same team, or 2 drivers in different teams. So we'll see here that this first head-to-head matchup is between George Russell from Mercedes and Sergio Perez in the Red Bull, with Mercedes and George Russell the minus 140 favorite. But you can also pit together drivers from the same team. So you have Max Verstappen versus Sergio Perez, and Max Verstappen is the minus 650 favorite. Now, these markets, you're not betting on a driver to win, you're betting on a driver to outperform the other driver in a head-to-head matchup. So if Max Verstappen gets second and Sergio Perez gets 8th, your wager on Max Verstappen would win. All right, let's round it out here. We're going to go into one final market, and that is going to be, will 2 drivers from the same team, will both drivers score points in the race? This is an interesting market to look at because we've seen that sometimes within the same team, there is a big discrepancy between the performances of the drivers. So last year with McLaren, in the early parts of the season, we had Lando Norris really succeeding, putting up fast lap times, scoring points for the team, while Daniel Ricciardo really struggled to find his bearings. If you feel like there is a big discrepancy between 2 drivers of the same team again this year, wager, this is a market I would advise you to take a look at. That about wraps it up for today's video. If you are wagering on the first race of the season, good luck, and I will see you next time.